My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every week, we break down full fight cards, giving you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And this breakdown is brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. First up, at UFC 271, we have Jeremiah Wells fighting Mike Mathetha. You'll see him listed everywhere as Blood Diamond, which is kind of crazy. Jeremiah Wells
terrifying. It's terrifying.
It took me a little while to get comfortable with that. Jeremiah Wells is 9-2 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off 3 stoppages in a row. Mike Mathetha, I do not have a list, but Mike Mathetha is 3-0. His whole career, 3-0 as a professional mixed martial artist. And we'll get to why he only has 3 fights in a second. Jeremiah Wells came back after a 2-year layoff, and he knocked out Warlley Alves in his UFC debut. He's a big, powerful striker with explosive hands. But what everybody forgets is he is a BJJ black belt, and he's a pretty accomplished one at that. He throws wild and he throws with intent, but it really is just there to set up his BJJ, set up his takedowns, and get it to the ground. His takedowns are pretty good, but what he does really well is transition from one to another. It's not full-blown chain wrestling, but he does a good job of once he's down there, once he's working a leg, he'll move from a single to a double, back to a single, and try to really get that going. Mike Mathetha, we mentioned his name is Blood Diamond, and that's literally how he's listed on the UFC website and a whole bunch of other websites. You'll just see Diamond or B Diamond or just straight up Blood Diamond as his name. He's a very experienced striker, so he only has 3 professional mixed martial arts fights, but he has 100 fights before he transitioned to MMA, more than 100. He's coming out of City Kickboxing with Izzy, Dan Hooker, and there's like 7 other people on this fight card. 7 other people on this fight card coming out of that gym. So you know he's getting proper MMA training, even though it's predominantly they're known for their striking over there. The problem is we have not seen too much by the way of takedown defense from him. So there's so many questions. We know he's an accomplished kickboxer. We don't know what his full MMA game looks like. If you check out his record, you'll see that Blood Diamond has a submission win, he has a decision win, and he has a knockout win. But if you look at the submission win, don't immediately jump to conclusions and say, wow, Blood Diamond can he grapple? He was shoulder thrown. He had somebody against the cage. They shoulder threw him, and when they landed on the ground, they were basically in spoon position, and he just snatched up the neck. So good for him. He got the win. He got the submission, but I would not just look at Tapology and draw conclusions on his jiu-jitsu game from there. Listen, I have to go with Jeremiah here because he's not going to be anywhere near the technical striker or the striker that Blood Diamond is. He's still dangerous on his feet because he does have power. He swings wild. He has solid takedowns. He has very good jiu-jitsu. I like Jeremiah to come in, throw in wild, close the distance, drop down for a takedown, and work his jiu-jitsu. The problem with these kickboxers, you just don't know. We just don't know how good the takedown defense is. We don't know enough. He could come out looking like Ulberg did in his UFC debut, where he looked pretty good and then was put out. Or he could come out looking like Pereira did. Just took that dude, defended a couple takedowns, took that dude's head off. You just don't know what you're going to get. Jakey boy, do you agree?
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Wells is definitely the play in this fight, but if there was a fight that I could place a under 30-second bet on, I'm sure on one of our betting sites, there's got to be something like that. I'm going to look to place a bet because I think these guys just clash heads, middle of the octagon. They both throw wild. They both want to knock each other out. Mike Mathetha, Blood Diamond, he is a kickboxer, but even in his kickbox, he doesn't look real great. He's kind of got like an awkward stance, and some of his knockouts are kind of weird. He gets hit a lot. He's not as clean as you would expect kind of a kickboxer to be, but I think that these guys come forward. I think they both throw bombs. And I think this is like an under 30 seconds way to start the card, UFC 171. Obviously, if it doesn't happen, Jeremiah can use his grappling. He can get this fight to the ground. He can dominate on the ground. You're 100% correct on all that. But I think they throw bombs at the beginning. Jeremiah has shown in the past that he will just run across and just start throwing bombs. And it's kind of funny. Paul Felder was commentating one of his fights, and Jeremiah Wells and him used to like train and spar together. He's like, this is what I had to go through, guys. Every day I had to fight this dude. He just balls to the wall, does not stop. So I think Jeremiah Wells is the play in this. Blood Diamond, you mentioned he is a city kickboxing guy, so he's probably going to be prepared, but I'll go with the experience here and the overall better fighter in Jeremiah Wells for sure. I like him in this matchup.
Yeah, you kind of have to. I mean, this is MMA. My advice, don't bet on this fight. There's no reason to place a bet on this fight. Maybe, what's the round line? Maybe the under on rounds, or the fight does not go to a decision, because I could see Mathetha getting submitted or one of them getting knocked out. So that's probably the only bet that would make any sense, because there's just too many questions. There's too many unknowns, and I'm not going to lay out my actual money that I earn on, there's 15 fights on this card.
So here you go. Under 1.5 rounds is minus 165. So they expect a quick
And it's a
finish.
it's a 1.5 round, and it's still that low. That's crazy.
Right.
I mean, I get it though. I get it, because Jeremiah Wells can get him to the ground in the first minute. He's got 4 minutes to work for a submission in that round. So very interesting. And let's take a look. Listen, DraftKings. Here's the problem with DraftKings. Either one of these guys could be the best DraftKings play of all time. Jeremiah Wells could take him down, submit him in 30 seconds. He could even knock him out. Mathetha could knock out Jeremiah Wells as he comes in for a lazy takedown. Anything could happen here. Do you like either one enough to throw him in your DraftKings?
I think that Mike is just weird enough that he can get a flash KO in this matchup, and if that happens, then you're really shit out of luck with that $9,100 price tag. So Mike is just good enough and just wild enough for me to want to stay away from Jeremiah. But if somebody plays Jeremiah, I can definitely see why.
Yeah, and the Monkey Knife Fight strike line's another interesting one. So Monkey Knife Fight, daily fantasy prop game. You basically do more or less on the line here. So this is saying 36 strikes for Jeremiah Wells, 18 strikes for Mike Mathetha, more or less on each side. And if you hit it, you can triple your money, string a bunch together. You can 25 times your money. But Monkey Knife Fight also has KO Kings, where you get to pick any 3 fighters. And if one of them wins by knockout, you get paid. Would you throw either one of either one of these guys in KO Kings? You get to pick any 3 fighters and you only need 1 stoppage. I would do Mike Mathetha.
Well, I don't know if I'd do Mike Mathetha, because he really only has like 1 chance to land 1 shot, where some other people have an entire fight to kind of get a knockout. Because if he misses that 1 shot, Jeremiah's going to be there and either body lock him to the ground. So if it's a more or less, I'll take the less because I think it is quick, but I wouldn't play either. It's tough to play either one of these in a Knockout Kings.
Sure. Well, check out Monkey Knife Fight.
Sure.
We won't pick, because you're not wrong.
Sure.
And honestly,
Sure. Moving on.
My Knockout Kings, I'm just going to double up the co-main event. Done.
I went 3 for 3 last week in Knockout Kings.
I only got 1, but I only need 1. So anyway, check out Monkey Knife Fight at wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up, make a deposit. They will instantly match your deposit up to $100. Use the free money. Throw it at this. See what happens. And if you want 50 free dollars, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. Let me know. I'll send you $50 as a thank you.